What is going on, guys? What is going on, and happy Wednesday. Hope everyone had an excellent New Year's Eve and holidays. Welcome to the first Wednesday night live stream of the year, so that's kind of cool. So hopefully everyone's doing. Did you guys all have great Christmas, New Year's, happy holidays? I figured since a lot of us are doing that. Oh, I'm repeating back. Make sure I pause that. There we go. Watch my own YouTube video. So I know a lot of us are doing the nano challenge. So I figured it'd be a kind of a cool topic to talk about all kinds of nano fish, nano inverts, and kind of stuff they could actually put in your nano tank. I've had a couple nanos before, so I have looked into this quite a bit. Now back to recently with doing the nano challenge is back in the same thing. I've been all over the place on which fish to get, what should I put in the tank. You know, do I do inverts? Do I do fish? It's kind of back and forth. Easy Reefer, what's going on? Nasty Nemo, welcome. Reeferoid, welcome, welcome. Nato, Bubba, welcome, guys. Got Dave's Nano Tank. How's it going, Dave? Procuranado Nemo Navida Real. That's a long name. Welcome, welcome, Al. I'm just quickly pop out a link for whoever wants to join the live chat. Just let me make a mini ULR of it, and we'll see if it works. So if anyone wants to join, there's a link. I may have to repaste it and redo it. Reef and Live Bear, welcome. EDK, what's going on, Eddie? Reefing with O just joined in the voice chat. Welcome, O. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. How's your nano tank coming?
It's still new.
This is good.
Yeah, it's good. It's up. It's running. So far so good. Got one Cyphistrea in it, I think. So, one firefish, one Cyphistrea.
Nice.
That's it so far. Just waiting for it to settle in, and we'll see how it goes.
Excellent. Just in the chat, welcome. We got Liam, Red Captain 10, non-average reefer. How long has it been? Too long. Eric B, Tony Mac Perez. Got a small shipment from Live Aquarii for the 50-gallon lagoon. Ooh, nice. Very cool. So I'm still tankless. So far, tangs in it. No, bad idea. Unless they're little babies. Short term. What's going on, PJ Goblin? So I got all my rock. I built my aquascape. I somehow managed to squeeze it into my tank, at least half of it. I got one half of the structure between my rock structures. What's going on, Woody? And I got another chunk in the sump that's kind of half submerged. So at least I can kind of pre-cycle a little bit until I figure out my tank. Hey, Chris's Fish Room. So I've been really thinking a lot lately about which fish to actually get for the tank. I have a few ideas. I'm still really debating the direction of it all. I am going.
I really want to keep it. You know what? I think I'm gonna do all SPS in my nano, and then transition my kids' nano into like an all softy tank.
Yeah.
I want to see if a fully SPS tank is just easier to take care of because, you know, I can just crank up the flow, no substrate. It's going to be built to keep the nutrients low. So I'm going to see. I'm going to see if you know, like doing SPS only is really easier than maybe trying to balance it in this tank.
It is supposed to be. Because they like more the clean, pristine water. Where on the other half, a lot of your Zoas, LPS like the mixing. We can barely hear. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can turn them up a little bit. Apparently, you're very quiet. Oh, talk for a sec. Hopefully that's better.
Hello.
All right. Let me know. Let me know how that is. If he's still quiet, I'll see if I can boost his volume somehow.
Is that DC Reefer that's set up low?
No, that was NATO.
Okay, all right, NATO. All right, you're good, NATO. If it's DC Reefer, just ignore him.
Fair enough. Mad Dog, what's going on, buddy? Can't hear. Oh, still can't hear him. Oh, talk for a sec.
My name is O.
All right.
I love fish.
Excellent. I like fish too. Guess you changed the name back. Reef Community Worldwide. We actually know who you are again. Excellent. All right. So I just dropped that bit.ly link, and that may or may not work. Can only hear in the background. Let me try something here. Still low. Well then, that's not as fun. You're a little too loud yourself. See, it's hard to win. There, I turn myself down. We'll see what happens there. Alright, say something again. I think it's on mute. Catalina goby. Those guys are actually really cool. If you haven't seen those, I think I actually grabbed a picture of one of those guys. No, I didn't. So the Catalina gobies, they are super tiny little guys, and they're very kind of red and blue. Now, the only thing with them is they're cold water gobies, so they don't like as hot of a climate as most reef tanks. So this is one thing I've been kind of debating. But you guys can see behind me, those are the Catalina gobies. Now, the only one downside, I mean, a species-only tank or something, you could totally get away with it. What's going on West Coast Reefer is corals grow a bit faster in warmer waters. However, this guy likes colder waters, so he might not fare too well in the warmer waters in the tank. So if you're trying to grow coral quicker, it might kind of conflict a bit. So that's been one kind of thing I've been back and forth on. But those guys are really awesome. I've seen them in person. I've almost bought them a few times. And so I've been kind of debating it back and forth. So hopefully that kind of works. Robert Flower, getting my XR15 4 Pros today. Very nice. Where should I start them at, and what do you run yours at? How deep's your tank, Robert? First, pretty fancy snazzy lights. Without diffusers, I ran mine at 45%. That was about 8 or 9 inches off the water, and my tank's 18 inches deep. So it kind of depends on the depth of your tank. But that might give you a bit of a starting point or starting idea. Now, one fish that I really want, if I can find it, flaming prawn goby. I think DC might have been a pumpkin already bought one, but those guys are awesome looking. They're super tiny. They're literally like 1 to 2 inches. Like they're super tiny little gobies, but they're crazy looking. So ideally, I'd love to find one of those. Mantis shrimp in the nano. Mantis are pretty cool, actually. One of my buddies got one on some rock, and it was a peacock mantis, super bright and colorful, and he had to live in his sump for a while. I mean, they do get pretty big. So there'd be a certain point where it get too big for the tank. Another popular little guy, yellow clown gobies. These guys are super tiny. They just kind of chill. They're kind of like lazy gobies. Like they'll just like sit on your glass. They'll go sit on a coral. Now the only kind of downfall of these guys is they're hit and miss if they'll nip on your coral. So if you're doing a softy tank, have at her. If you're doing a SPS tank, they might nip at polyps. If you have in a larger tank, usually just a few polyps to nip aren't a big deal, but in a nano with 1 inch frags, it may destroy your coral. But so depending on where you go with coral, they can be a really cool fish. Nanos are cool. I'm just trying to get money for another light. So 8 inches deep. It's a Red Sea 350. Okay. So in your tank, that's really similar to mine. I would start it a little bit lower. If you have the reef link, use the acclimation mode. But I only bought 2. Yeah, so 2 should be good. So I would probably start it at around 30% and then maybe acclimate it up to around 45%-ish. That's where I had really good success with mine. What's going on, EDK? So yeah, another kind of one. Besides the yellow clown goby, you got the green clown goby. Supposedly putting 2 of them in the tank, they may scrap with each other, so that could be trouble. But it's another kind of cool one. These guys tend to be more of a sandbag creature. The yellow one's kind of more higher up in the tank. So depending on the side of the tank, might build gay with 2 of them. Again, that's kind of hit or miss. A couple other ones. Firefish. This one's like the purple. John Bruce, if you're in the chat. Thanks for subscribing. ReefDudes. I got a green clown goby. I don't see him, but I'm sure he's alive. I saw it at one time at night in between the coral. Yeah, they're very shy. The couple people I know that have had the green clown gobies, same thing. They said they got to hunt for him or he only comes out a little bit. The yellows tend to be out all the time. It's kind of like I'll even see them like sit on the side of the glass aquarium, which is kind of funky. But super cool little guys. Catalina would be really cool if someone does a cooler tank. My backup plan, I might try the hyphen gobies. These are one of the tinier guys that you can pair up with a pistol shrimp. That might be kind of fun. Getting ready for a giveaway. Attaboy. Those are always fun to do. Another one, the tail spot bunny. These guys, I've never owned one. They do look pretty cool. Tons of personality, just from what I've seen in videos and people have owned them. So that might be kind of fun one. So appreciate it, Dave. If you guys are enjoying it, hit that thumbs up button. Ruby red dragonette. Those are very pretty. That's another one of the potential ones. Those guys, kind of like a mandarin goby. They're pod hunters, so make sure you got lots of pods before you add one in. So aside from that, they're really cool little guys. Ruby red. I actually had one at one point in the past. Ruby red.
The ruby red dragonet.
Yeah, that's one of my backup plans.
Yeah. Oh, for them now?
Maybe.
Interesting. If you could get one to, I find that they're easier to get to eat than the straight mandarins.
Yep.
I had one before.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, he was much smaller than the mandarins, and he attacked them.
Oh, really?
And I ended up taking him out, but that's okay. I wanted the mandarins, and I had a pair, and now they swim together. So I think I came out better overall. But the mandarins do not eat frozen or any prepared foods at all. And yes, absolutely, yes. Dave took me to Absolutely Fish. Oh, there he is in the chat. Dave took me to Absolutely Fish, and I purchased that. Then I got some mandarins after, but that fish is beautiful, and you're more likely to get it to eat frozen.
Now, yeah, so Dave just beat me to it. The ruby red jumped last week, so I think I had one, and they are very notorious jumpers. It's amazing how tiny they are and how high they can jump. So that's kind of one thing. Like with a lot of those guys, like you definitely want to make sure you have a lid on your now if you're gonna get one. So I'm saying look up the gumdrop goby. So let me just quickly check that guy out. I think those like the cute little guys. I've never actually seen one for sale though. Gumdrop. Have any of you guys ever seen those for sale? Let me drag up a picture. They're like cute little guys. Look at these little things. They're like little stubby little, I don't know. They're funny looking, but I think it'd be kind of a cool one if anyone could actually find one.
Is this better in terms of audio? Because I've heard that I'm low.
For me, you sound good. People in the chat, I'll see what they say. But yeah, the gumdrop gobies are super cool. If you can see them for sale, I think it'd be kind of a neat one to try out. They're still saying your mic needs turning up. Let me see if I can possibly do it on my mixer, if I can figure out which one's the input. Okay, try say something now.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, hopefully that's a bit better. There, I'll try that. Just cranked up a couple of the channels a bit. A dragon face pipefish. Oh, those are pretty awesome fish too, actually. Those are one of my wish list. That's a great idea. Found they're quite easy so far. I've had like the Beetlejuice looking one. It was a black and white with a red tail I've had in the past. Yeah, dragon face pipefish. That's a cool idea, actually. Good sound now. Perfect. Okay. So dragon face, super cool looking little creatures. They're not too hard to find, actually. I've seen these guys for sale in a few different places. Oh, that's not one. So yeah, that could be actually a good idea. Good. They can sting. Good to know. I'm going to add that to the potential list. Royal Gammas. That's another one that stays pretty small. I've seen a lot of people have those in nanos. Another one that's fairly common, I'd say, is Firefish. Huge jumpers, but they have a nice splash of color. They're pretty tiny, and they just kind of hang out and chill around. They're not super active, so they don't need a huge space. So it could be kind of a cool one. Yep.
You're on my peak.
Hey.
Right. Your audio for people coming through.
Yep.
I think, when you change the mic, you might have knocked it off. And then the computer monitor. What's that audio?
For me or for you? Mike, your audio is scrambled.
Yeah, his audio scrambled to me too.
All right. This is what I get for trying to try new things. Give me 1 sec here.
Desktop audio. Put you up.
All right. Okay, so I just put the headphones on so I can actually hear what you guys are hearing. Okay, how's that, guys? Oh, you're really loud. Okay, hopefully that's good now. All right, guys. Hopefully that is better. Bad mute him. So I did what I shouldn't do and was playing with the amp and a bunch of audio stuff earlier, and apparently I buggered it up. So my apologies for that one. Hopefully it's sounding a bit better now. Okay. Oh, he just dropped off. Yep. Not done anything yet, taking my time. That's awesome. We're going worldwide. I think I've managed to talk a bunch of people into it, so it's kind of exciting. My tank is literally taken over by like chunks of rock for the nano. I put it in yesterday, just trying to get it somewhat, hopefully get the cycle going on it to speed it up. The other thing I've kind of half debated too is just getting a ton of like little cool creatures. Like you get sexy shrimp, or you can get pom-pom crabs. All different kind of inverts might be kind of a fun thing to try as well. Dragonface pipefish. A pipefish tank should be kind of cool. It's kind of almost would be a good excuse to do kind of a species only tank. I've debated trying a frogfish. Would be kind of cool. The only one thing with that would be just feeding them. You know, most of the time they eat other fish, so probably wouldn't be the cheapest pet if you got to feed them live fish all the time. It'd add up in a hurry, and I feel a little bit bad for them. But they are really cool fish, so it'd be a really cool one to try. Reefroid, that's the one. So yeah, he's actually really cool looking. That's one I've never seen before. I'll keep an eye out for him. Awesome strep date idea, Paul. Yeah, nice. Seen Miracle Mud substrate. I debated it. It doesn't look quite as bright and sandy. It's more like a darker, muddy kind of look. I mean, it's Miracle Mud, but I bet you it would work very well. So it's probably a secret to getting your corals to grow right there. Miracle Mud substrate. Geometric hawkfish or possum wrasse. Those guys are both very cool. Both actually pretty good in small tanks, depending on the size. Sin City Reefing, what's going on? Now, some of the hawkfish, they will eat other shrimp, so just keep that in mind. But there is the geometry pygmy hawkfish, which are pretty cool. Now, possum wrasse. Let's pull that guy up. Possum wrasse. So those guys are pretty cool too. Dogfight. Dracula gobies. Those are another awesome ones. If you guys haven't seen those, they're kind of like the high fin goby, but they'll climb up in caves upside down and stuff too, which is pretty cool. So Dracula goby. So like the high fin. Set the red stripes on it. For whatever reason, those guys tend to be a lot more pricey, but they're pretty cool looking. A flashlight fish. This is a whole new one for me. Are those the guys that have the little bulb on their head? Apparently. So that's a flashlight fish. I'm not sure how small or big they are, but that's kind of cool. Bioluminescent light under their eyes. Huh, very cool. There you go, Nick. Put one of those in your bioluminescent LG tank. It'll go right with the fish as it swims around. It will glow. The other ones will glow. Huh, those are very cool. Glow in the dark. Yes, pricey. Oh, I imagine that. Have any of you guys had a tail spot bunny? They're supposed to have a ton of character. Be really happy ones. I used to have sexy shrimp, so they wouldn't have lasted long with the other wrasse. So might try them again. 12 inches long. Wow, that's huge. Firefish, the the prawn goby is actually the flaming prawn goby. I don't know why, but I love them. I think they're awesome looking. So I'm really hoping I can find some eventually. They would be super cool, guys. I'm imagining they're not cheap. When I've seen them before, they've been around $80, so they're kind of pricey, considering they're about that big. But it's something cool that you couldn't have in a main tank. Yeah, so Reef and Library Aquatics tail spots are awesome. So they do seem pretty sweet. Everyone that has them seems to love them. Suppose they just have a ton of personality. Mine was very territorial. Could see it. Yeah, it's pretty though. So hopefully, if I can find one, I'm going to do it. If not, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. One of my buddies has a couple bullet hole clowns. He said I could maybe acquire off him, so we'll see. Could do clowns, but at the same time, I kind of do something different I've never had before. I always stand by my rose goby and Randall's pistol shrimp. Rose goby, I have to look up that one. Pistol shrimps are an awesome pair. If you guys have never had one, okay, so that's rose goby. That's just the high fin. Looks like a high fin goby. Probably just like another genius of it. But there's the high fin, or the rose goby. Now also there's the high fin goby and the Dracula goby that all look super similar. These guys, there's a good shot right there. They'll pair up with little shrimp. Candy cane shrimp is probably better for the nano. You can get tiger pistol shrimp as well, but they get pretty big. So you gotta just make sure they're not too crazy big for the tank. They could outgrow it to, not really outgrow it, but back in the day I actually did have one tiger shrimp, super cool, but he was like bigger than the goby. He was massive. Little punks probably stole a couple $100 worth of frags. He always steal frags and disappear into his cave, so nothing on the sand bed for anything expensive for a frag, or will likely disappear. The little guys you can get away with a bit more because they're pretty tiny, but bullet goby, Nick had one messy. Cuddlefish. Are you talking about the cowfish, like the little boxfish? Oh, cuddlefish. Cuddlefish should be cool. That'd be pretty awesome, actually. Do they come in a dwarf cuddlefish? Check this guy out. Little cuddlefish would be kind of cool. Yeah, blue spot jobby. I believe they say about a 30-gallon for those guys. Notorious jumpers as well. So definitely make sure you have a lid with those guys because they're another fish that's a good $100 plus. Beautiful though. They're one of my favorites. Like bright yellow body with blue polka dots all over it. Let me find a picture. The other thing with that, they dig and they literally sit in their hole, kind of poke up, almost like a little garden eel type of thing. So you need to have fairly deep substrate for them. Like I'd say you want to be closer to 3 inches at least for these guys. There's kind of a photo. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful fish. But they definitely will jump, so you got to make sure that you got a lid on that tank, or that's a very expensive fish to lose pretty quick. Blue spot need deep sand bed. Yes, definitely do. I would say 2.5 to 3 inches anyways. You don't want to cuddle fish. They only live 6 months. That is 100% why I haven't got one, is they live too short. Dr. Wilson Magic, welcome. Al, garden eels. Garden eels would be amazing, but from my understanding, you need a huge tank for them and very deep sand bed, like 6 inches plus. Welcome, Wayne Scott. But very cool. I don't know why, whenever I go to public aquariums, they always make me happy. I love seeing those little guys poking their head up and going around the sand. So they're pretty fun. So garden eels would be pretty sweet. Pretty much most gobies you're safe as long as they don't get too crazy big. At least for the Nano Challenge folks. First of all, if you don't know what it is, there's a link in the description of the video. So check it out. There's a link to the instructions along with DC's video, kind of all the rules, prizes, all that jazz. Blue spots jump whenever they can. Find them, took the lid off. To frag and left the room. Aye, that sucks. Not doing deep sand bed. You could always too make them a cave. I've seen some use like PVC pipe and do like a little cave out of it. You just have a little mound or build them something that way, so you don't have to have your whole tank deep. But they do need their little kind of spot to have it. So there's also panda gobies, another kind of cool one. They also have a kind of looks like the gumdrop, but a little bit different. So this is one I've not personally seen anywhere for sale, but it's kind of a panda goby. I've seen more that are more black and white as well, so they're kind of cool. But yeah, 6 months for me. I have a hard time spending. They're not cheap either, but it's kind of a lot of money spent on something that doesn't last very long. Someone just sent me a photo of their tail spot bunny living, looks like in a Lobo or some cans. That's awesome. This would be a fun one. Another super cool one. If you guys haven't seen it, frogfish. You can get little dwarf frogfishes. Super cool. Again, that's one thing. It's just a little bit harder to deal with feeding them. If you haven't seen it, Inappropriate Reefer has one. He has a really cool drop-off tank with a frogfish in it. And yeah, he's awesome. I love watching that guy. His name's Smokey. He's a good character. It's crazy. They'll move so slow. Also, it's like, bam, just attacks and devours the fish in like literally like a split second. It's amazing how quick they move. Now, the other kind of thing, too, with nanos, you just got to be cautious not to put in too many. Either you want a mated pair if you do multiples of the same species, or make sure they're different enough that they're not going to squall or kind of aquarii. Because in a smaller tank, you don't have a ton of space, so just kind of something to keep mind of. Another cool one is, I believe it's called Randall's goby. They have a big fin on it. Those guys are pretty cool, too. What about those of us bigger tanks? What about some fish we can keep in a nano for a year and then move up? Very good point. If you plan on upgrading your tank or you have a larger tank, then you can get away with pretty much anything you want in a nano. Just know that they're going to grow it and something you're going to have to deal with in 6 months or a year. But, I mean, a baby of any fish really could be fine in a nano for starting out, so. It's definitely a good way to get rid of it, especially if it's a fish you want anyways. Just go pick up a little tiny one and eventually move them into your big tank. Like the pick of a frog, give me a bit. All right. Yeah, the fastest fish strike is actually amazing. What's going on, SC Reefer? Welcome. I don't quite know the name of it. There was one of the blue spotted goby. Something different. There was super tiny little. I don't know if they're gobies or what they are, but one of the LFSs. Not so local LFSs that I go to once in a while. It's kind of a couple hours out of town. But they have these super tiny little guys. So providing they're not too crazy expensive, I might see if I can get a whole school of those. Might be kind of sweet too. Twin spot goby. Also very cool. These guys, they are super tiny. So I mean, size-wise, yes, they could fit in a nano. The only issue is feeding them. They are kind of very picky eaters. Like they'll sift through your sand bed and eat all the stuff out of the sand bed. Now, the only problem is in a nano, you're not going to have a lot of stuff in your sand bed. So you might be able to get away with it, especially if you can get one that eats prepared foods. But if it's just relying on the sand bed, unless it's a pretty big area, it's going to be questionable if they'll make it long term or if they'll kind of perish. So it's something to keep in mind. But they're very cool looking little fish. I did try them once, and sadly, they didn't last. They were fairly skinny when I got them, so I can't 100% for say if it was what it was from, but beautiful little fish, though. Elle's giving the big tank some love. Ed, how's the acrylic nano coming? So Ed in the chat, he's trying to build his own acrylic bow front tank. So pretty ambitious, doing the cool curve on the back, but it'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, it's Catalina goby. It's very, very cool fish. You can do it if you keep your tank on the cooler end, but the only downfall, what I was kind of mentioning earlier, is that the tank will be cooler, it'll be good for the fish. However, your corals likely won't grow as fast. So it's a bit of a trade-off. I mean, if you're already happy where your tank's at, you can kind of cool it down. It's going to slow the metabolism of your corals and make it more appropriate for the fish. It's one I've wanted many times, but stopped myself from buying just because of the whole temperature thing. Yeah, goby pistol shrimp pairs, everyone loves those, so that's another great choice for nano. Especially if you can get kind of cute little pair. Now there's tons of different kinds of gobies, like with all the red stripes and candy canes and different guys. Rainfur goby, I think. That's another pretty popular one. The acrylic tank has been redesigned into a box. Fair enough, Ed. It seemed very ambitious to do a curved one with the heat gun, so it's pretty awesome though. It'll still be pretty good. Redhead gobies have tons of personality. Okay, let me check out one of those guys. I wonder if Redhead's actually one of the ones I was thinking of from before. Okay, so that's a Redhead goby. So Google chat link. So unfortunately, there's something messed up with the audio, so the audio wasn't coming through from the Google Hangout, so everyone kind of ditched off that one. So I could hear you, but no one on the stream could, so I'll have to figure that out for the next stream, see what's going on. So red-headed gobies. I've never tried those. So it said tons of personality. Sorry, no shark in a small tank. You might be pushing it. If you had a super tiny baby shark, maybe, but he probably wouldn't last very long. What are some other kind of crazy ones? Check out this guy. See if it loads. Gobyphilia. I've never actually heard of that one, but that guy actually looks pretty awesome. Short-toothed blenny, one of my favorites. Alright, let's take a look at that guy. I'm actually learning about a lot of new fish today. Huh. This is kind of cool. Short-toothed blennies. Blennies tend to have a ton of personality. They all seem to be fairly big head characters. Catalina gobies are sweet, but too bad they're cold water and won't survive long at higher temps. No, exactly. Any mod want to send it through to me? Not sure what you want sent on that one. So for species only, I got a firefish in my nano. Yeah, firefish they're very docile. They more just like kind of float there and chill around. I've also heard of a lot of people keeping Bangai cardinals in nanos. The ones I have in my tank, I kind of feel they'd be on the big side, but they stay small for a long time, so you could definitely get away with a few of them. Rainford goby tried twice, but did not make it. Ah, it's too bad, Lisa. Rainfords are pretty popular ones. They're generally pretty hardy, so... Live Aquarii also has a nano section, so I'm just going to pull that up and see if they got any cool ones that we kind of missed. Shrink this a bit so you see the chat. Yeah, purple firefish, that's another pretty cool one. All these guys are jumpers, but very easy. Make sure you have a top. Neon blue gobies, little guys. Yeah, there's Hector's goby. Clown goby yellow, same thing. So yellow clown gobies, you might get lucky and he might be awesome. Or you might get the ones where they potentially might nip corals. It's the only thing to keep in mind if you're doing an SPS tank, if you're doing a softy tank, not an issue. Another one, I've never seen this guy in real life, but green banded goby. Those guys can be kind of cool too. Some of them I've seen have very bright bands and very vibrant, so this guy looks a bit paler in this photo. Yeah, there's the Catalina goby that we were talking about earlier. Wheeler shrimp goby, that's another popular one that pairs up fairly readily with pistol shrimp. Hyphen goby, these guys stay very tiny, so this is kind of when I was debating if I do a pistol shrimp pair, I might go with this guy, or this guy would be kind of cool too, the orange stripe prawn goby with the big kind of fancy fin on top. It's kind of a cool one. Yellow stripe clingfish. I have no idea what the clingfish is. What's this guy? That's kind of cool. It's almost like a pipefish looking blend. Oh, very cool. Yellow stripe clingfish. That is a new one. Do gobies need a mature tank? Gobies are pretty hardy in general. As long as they're eating frozen or prepared food pellets, you should be fine. The main ones you want to watch out for, a lot of time could be smaller wrasses. Tank raised stuff are usually pretty safe. If it's wild caught, it could be a little more of an issue because they're oddly will only eat pods. So in a smaller tank, you got to make sure you're either supplementing pods or you can ideally train one to eat frozen. So kind of one of the two things. So Chris's Fish Room has a green banded goby. He's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, Da Vinci Panda Goby. Those look very cool. Another one I've never seen in person, but they do look like cute little guys. So those are the Panda Gobies. Little faces are cute. No plans for fish in my Pico. Such thing as a mature tank. It's a good question. Mature tank. I don't know what point you'd say mature tank. I'd almost say like over a year old where there's enough microfauna and creatures living in it. Anyone kept a 4-wheel drive goby? I've never heard of that. That sounds like a twin spot goby. I'm assuming it looks exactly like a twin spot goby. Might just be another name for it. These guys are harder in a small tank. They're super tiny fish, but they're primarily sand sifter, eat the sand bait guys. Any gobies that don't sift the sand? Yes, there are. Clown gobies for sure do not. The green clown goby, I'm not sure. The yellow clown goby mainly perches up on corals on the top end of the tank. A cryptic would be an accessor's gold. What's that guy? That's a basset. So that guy is a basset. So basset's another fairly popular one. They say pretty tiny. Black neon. Let's see what this guy lives. So black neon dotty back. That's kind of cool, bright colors. Coral goby dev. Green, yellow are both cute. Okay, so they are both cute. Yellow gobies can potentially nip on corals SPS. Green gobies, I don't know if they have the same reputation. They definitely could, but the yellow were more prominent at doing it. I had one, and he was great for a while. One day he started nipping, so I traded him. I haven't heard of other people who have had him for a long time, zero issues. Now in a large tank, it doesn't really matter. If he nips at a few polyps, not a big deal. If the colony can fix itself, it's not a huge issue. In a small tank with 1-inch frags, it's kind of questionable because he can do a lot more damage when he decides to snack on a few polyps. L, you can buy microfauna in pods these days, technically instant mature tank. Yes or no. I'd say more mature would be when your tank is sustaining them and breeding them on their own, not necessarily adding them. But yes, you can definitely add pods, and I'm sure I'll be dumping a bunch of pods in my tank to make sure it's good to go at first. If goby fauna in the sand, do fauna important for your tank? If they're sand sifters, yes, because they need those little bits of creatures and different nutrients so they can actually get out of the sand. If you have brand new sand, it'd be more of an issue. If you have a bigger, larger tank, just take some sand out of there and mix it with yours, and it'll help boost that up quicker. You can hear loud each individual person come through. A lot less lag than Google Hangouts. I will try that for the next live stream. I have never tried Discord, but I appreciate the tip. Free voice text chat for gamers. All right, I'll give that one a whirl for the next stream. Yasha goby. Never tried that guy, but they look pretty cool. So thanks for that tip there, Reefers. ReefDudes. Can you keep a mandarin goby and a leopard wrasse together? Yes, you can. I have both in my tank, so you definitely can. Both of them will scavenge and pick pods, but then again, both of mine have also eaten frozen food. So, but my goby constantly going after pods. Same thing. The leopard wrasse is constantly going around and picking off stuff. Both super cool fish. As long as you got lots of micro life and pods and stuff in your tank, they should be fine. So I wouldn't worry about those guys. But yeah, pipefish. That's another one I haven't really considered until today. Would be some cool ones. Let's see what they got on here. Marine fish. Might be under inverts. Starfish is another cool one you can add too, but wait till your tank's a little bit more mature. You don't want to add one right off the bat. So they show a cuddlefish in their photo, but they don't actually have any for sale. I'm curious how much those guys would actually be on Live Aquaria's site. Pipefish. The dragon-faced pipefish could be kind of a cool one. Banded pipefish, there we go. I used to have one of these guys. They're pretty cool. Call them Beetlejuice. That's because he kind of remind me of it for whatever reason. But yeah, super little curious things. They don't like tons of crazy flow, so they like the lower flow. But in general, as long as you got lots of pods, it was fairly easy. Dragon-faced pipefish. So these guys, I'm tempted now, to be honest. A dragon-faced pipefish might be kind of a cool addition. Most of the pipefish don't like high flow, so something to keep in mind is if you're doing like a crazy flow SPS tank, it might be a bit of an issue for them. Coral gobies are carnivores. They lay eggs under SPS, which can erode the polyps. Good to know if you got a pair. Buy a cuddlefish eggs and watch them birth. That'd be kind of cool. I've never seen them for sale. I'm sure they're out there somewhere, but I have not yet found it. But it would be really cool to have a cuddlefish, even if it was for 6 months. Maybe they'll breed and they'll keep giving you more. Always workarounds. Dotty backs. Yep, dotty backs are usually pretty good for smaller tanks. Let's bring some up. So a few different ones. They can Yeah, some of them can be a little bit mean and aggressive. Some are fine. Neon daddy back, pretty fish. Yeah, definitely. That guy's kind of cool. Neon dotty back, yes. Aside from that, so another one would be kind of cool. Would be a seahorse tank and a bunch of Gargonians. I think that'd be really cool to do. At least for you guys in the States, I know I've seen dwarf seahorses a lot. They're harder to find the dwarf ones where I am, at least for whatever reason. I've seen the big ones enough, but. So someone's saying the blue striped fang blenny. So that's this guy, which is kind of cool looking. Look at the guy. Look like he's smiling. A big smile on his face. Looks so happy. How small is considered to be a nano tank? For the general purpose, I would say in general life, I would say 30 to 40 gallons or less. For a lot of us are doing the contest, it's 25 gallons or less. So for this, we're saying 25 gallons is a pico, or sorry, is a nano, and 10 gallons or less is a pico. Seahorses suck. They would suck to take care of, lots of work, but I still think it would be pretty cool. They produce a lot of waste. But what you could do, I'm not going to do it, but if someone wanted to, you could do a seahorse tank with a bunch of NPS coral, like really cool Gargonians and stuff that's hard to keep normally because you got to feed them a lot, but you got to feed seahorses a lot too. Now, if you could find that, might be a really cool thing to do. I mean, it'd be a lot more work to maintain it. You have to feed it a couple times a day, but it'd be pretty sweet to see. Line dartfish pair. Okay, let's take a look at these guys. It always is kind of cool when you can get multiple fish or get a pair of fish. And then you kind of see other natural mating behaviors and stuff, but line dartfish, that's pretty. That's a very vibrant blue. Oh, that's a cool one. How do these guys get very big? That's a cool one. Fu Manchu lionfish. Okay, I'll come up a sec. Lionfish, so purple neon banded goby. Okay, let's take him a look. Purple neon banded goby. Looks like a purple firefish in the photos that came up. It's even the same one that kind of looks like that high, it starts with an H, but it's that purple firefish. Dwarf lionfish. I don't know if you could fit how big of a tank those guys need. They do look pretty awesome. Now, lionfish would probably eat most of your other fish. Would be the one potential downfall, at least anyone smaller than them. But if you only had one or a species only tank, providing they didn't get too big, they're pretty cool looking. Look at those guys. Ed, you should do one. Thought you made that up, Al, because about 10 different fish came up when I googled that, so it's kind of generic. But the dwarf lionfish would be pretty sweet. But yeah, I kind of have a feeling that he would be too big for the tank size unless he's got a little baby one. And then the problem would be afterwards, would he eat your other fish in the other tanks? But yeah, that lionfish is actually really crazy looking. Look at that guy. The purple and yellow. He's crazy looking. That'd be a crazy one to have. Too big for a nano, really 4 inches, yeah. For me, I would try and keep something that was a max of 3 inches, at least for any of the nanos that I'm doing. I feel like 3 inches is kind of the upper end that you'd want in a 25 gallon or less tank. Anything bigger, kind of pushing it for swimming space, especially if you want multiple fish, right? Yeah, and I kind of consider how much waste they're putting into the tank. I mean, in a nano, you can get away with just doing water changes, do your 5 gallon water change a week and you're probably good for anything. Anglerfish, I think those guys get pretty big too, though. Let's see if I can find if they have a dwarf one. It would be cool, though. The hardest thing with a lot of this, if you don't have a plan for moving the fish to a bigger tank later, it can kind of cut it for size wise. You don't want to outgrow the tank and you don't have something to do with them. So always make sure you got an upgrade path if you do try and put something. You know, like I've seen people put little tangs and stuff in their nano, which, you know, if they're super tiny, fair enough. But, you know, as they grow bigger, they definitely need more space. Especially that swimming space, because they're very active fish. Where'd my check go? So yeah, one of my other thoughts too was just a bunch of cool inverts. Sexy shrimp always make super cool. You could do some really cool ones, a bunch of rock flowers and a ton of sexy shrimp or little pom-pom crabs, all those kind of little creatures. Pipefish would be kind of cool. Smaller fish give the tank illusion of being larger. Yep, definitely. I would much prefer a ton of little tiny fish rather than like one big fish. It gives this really cool kind of scale to it. Also, too, one thing, 65 thumbs up for the stream. Ho, ho, ho. What's going on, guys? Appreciate those thumbs up. If you guys are digging it, be sure to let me know. Hit that thumbs up button. If you're going to do one fish down, clown frogfish are super fun, but live ghost shrimp are annoying. Yes. So they do require... So I know Inappropriate Reefer feeds his mainly the ghost shrimp. Once in a while he puts in some chromis or other stuff that turn into a snack. So I probably feel bad for the fish, but at the same time, frogfish would be pretty awesome. If we can drag that up a bit more. Yeah, so that is the clown frogfish. So they are pretty cool looking guys. It's amazing to watch. They move so slow, and it's like lightning when they strike. Like, it's super crazy, but very cool. So Tom Winter, bicolor bunnies have great personality, are super cute. Yeah, those are awesome little guys. Also, big difference between a 30-gallon nano and a 10-gallon nano. Yeah, definitely. So keep in mind the size of your tank. 10-gallon, I mean, you're getting the pico territory right there. I think I'm going with a 20-gallon tank. Kirby angelfish. How can I link a picture of my frogfish? Send it to me on the Facebook group if you're on there. Post it on there and I'll bring it up. If you're not on there, I'll drop a link to it. Facebook. All right, there you go. So facebook.com/group/ReefDudes. Post a photo in there and I'll pull it up. No, actually, I'd love to see your frogfish. So that'd be cool. Just looking at the chat. Tailspot bunnies. Yeah, those guys are definitely awesome. My 2 sexy shrimp. So I somehow actually managed to have about 3 sexy shrimp in my tank for the longest time. Eventually one disappeared. And then I had another one that was in there for ages. And then one disappeared. You don't have Facebook. Ah, there goes that plan. What fish would I put in a 10-gallon? 10-gallon tank, you could do like a small, like a hyphen goby, or one of the smaller, say, 2-inch gobies with a little candy cane shrimp. That'd be kind of a cool one. You could do lots of cool stuff like sexy shrimp. Like, these guys are super tiny. They get the little butts in the air. Like, they're kind of cute. They're fun. I'll probably end up throwing a few in my tank. Pom crabs. There's green clown gobies. They're more of a bottom dweller. You could probably get away with like smaller firefish and some of those because they're pretty docile. I just want to say really good luck to all the entries of the Rico's Nano Challenge. Thanks there, Dr. Welsh. I'm not going to lie. I'm jealous of you guys that already have tanks set up and going. I'm still trying to figure out my game plan. Red spot glass cardinalfish. That's someone else was mentioning. That was what Mark was saying. Those guys are pretty tiny. And you could actually probably do a school of them. They're super, super duper tiny. Let me just find a photo of one. So these guys are the red spot glass cardinalfish. Those guys are super tiny, so you could actually do quite a bit of them if you wanted to try and get away with a school in a nano. Oscularis clownfish in a 10-gallon with a bubble tip value. Yep, I've seen the same thing. My buddy had one of those at his house on the counter. Clownfish, I mean, a talon gallon, you could definitely put a clownfish in 10. If you have multiples, I'd like to see it more of like 15 to 20 gallons, but you can do it. Sea bunnies. Okay, I've seen these online. I think they're actually like a slug or a nudibranch or something, but I've seen these online. I've never seen them in person. Like I think they're online in like Japan or somewhere, but they're super tiny. But they look kind of like little bunny rabbits, so I think there's kind of like a big craze on them. But I'm pretty sure it's actually a sea slug. But yeah, they're kind of funky looking little guys. Would be cute. Providing they're reef safe, I'd throw one in now if I ever find one. Yeah, so those are sea bunnies. So yeah, so hopefully some of you guys got some cool ideas for your nanos. If you guys got any other stuff you want to throw up there, suggestions or questions on stuff that you think would be good in one, let me know. Do we say barnacle blennies? There's been a few different blennies. For the barnacles, I don't think we call them out specifically, but these guys are kind of cute. This is another one where I've never actually seen them for sale. But they generally take barnacles or little caves that they live in. It's cute. That little face. Super cute guy. But yeah, I mean, if you could find some, that'd be awesome. Their tails and gills are toxic. Oh, good to know. Good to know. But yeah, they're pretty cool looking. So do any of you guys have any of these in your tank? Just curious to hear if anyone that has a barnacle blenny in the chat. Aside from that, pipefish, we got seahorses, which a little more work would be cool. They're like little darts. Yeah, I believe that one. Gobies in general stay pretty small. So that whole kind of thing is, which fish is on your desktop background? Ah, this is the one I want to find. A flaming prawn goby is kind of their generic name, and their technical name I always forget, and I gotta look it up. No, I thought about 3D printing my aquascape, but I ended up just building something cool out of the life rock that I had. Just sent you on a message with YouTube with the frogfish. Okay, let me take a look that one up. Just checking out that link that you fired over. Once I figure out how to get to the messages, because they hide it somewhere. Billy Pipes has a few barnacle blennies. Oh, excellent. Okay, I'll have to check those ones out on his channel. Good old Billy. Okay, I'm just trying to find that message that you sent, because let's check out that frogfish. Yeah, so flaming prawn goby is super cool looking. But they're very, very tiny. Like, you would definitely lose him in a bigger reef tank. Alright, so this is neon gobies. I think those would probably work. Alright, so here you go. Happy frogfish. He's a very cute little guy. That's an awesome picture, by the way. So so since you have the frogfish, has he been much of an issue? Has it been very hard to eat, or has it been fairly easy? This is Reef and Live Bear Aquatics. That's his little frogfish. Super cute little guy. So yeah, how have you found keeping a frogfish? Has it been easy? Scallops are fussy. Switch around by muscles. For those, the electric scallops are kind of cool too. Their whole lip around them has electricity that goes through it, and you'll see pulse of lights almost coming from it. It doesn't. I don't think it necessarily lights up itself, but it refracts the light when it does it, which is pretty cool. I did have a flame scallop for a while, and they were kind of cool little guys. Yeah, super cute frogfish. Flame scallops, they do need to be kind of supplemented. When I had one, I dosed quite a bit of phytoplankton to the tank, which helped. But there's kind of a good picture. You can kind of see it. It's hard to take a photo of that. I've taken many trying to see, but you can kind of see how the lip of the scallop lights up, which is pretty cool. Snail for the nanos. Just perished not too long. Yeah, some of the really cool stuff is it's harder to maintain, and it's more just the feeding habits because a lot of them they'll eat something very specific, or they're very picky eaters, or they need little particles. But more often than not, I find that a lot of it is people don't feed the tank enough for some of these creatures. Like same with like non-photosynthetic corals, like they need a lot of food, and if you feed too much, then it can foul your water. So they are a bit trickier to that extent. Frogfish eat Gamma loreto. Is that a royal gamma, I'm assuming? Yes. Frogfish would most likely eat a royal gamma. Anything small. If it can fit in its mouth, which they have a pretty big mouth, it'll eat it. So, like, I know chromis or a lot of, like, the cheaper fish I've seen use as snacks. So, something that you got to keep in mind is they might slowly disappear if you have one. 3D pinch your fish. That sounds fun. Flame scallops. Yeah, flame scallops don't live long in tanks. You really need to supplement phyto and other stuff. Or, you know, like maybe reefroids with some kind of very fine powdery food because they're for them to eat. So they are definitely more of a difficult one to keep. A lot of the filter feeding type fish you gotta kind of keep an eye out for. Make sure you're feeding enough, or else it definitely can be a potential issue. Frogfish will eat any fish that fits in its mouth. No, exactly. Also prefer to hide in corals rather than rock. Corals are a must. Corals are always a must. Come on now. I don't think I could do a tank without corals. What's going on, Papa Reefer? Now, I just want to quickly check. I did ask on one of the fish forums a while ago, one of the Facebook groups, to see if there's any other popular ones, people's favorite. Okay, so ate the first day, take live ghost shrimp, try to on a stick, but he knows dead from alive, always goes to the corner of the tank when he's hungry. Generally very smart. Huh, that's very cool. Sounds like it's a pretty cool fish. If you can get away with feeding just ghost shrimp, I don't think that'd be bad, actually. So do you feed your frogfish ghost shrimp kind of daily, or is it every couple weeks, or how often do you actually feed them that? I'm assuming kind of every other day type of deal, but new one had one in the shot back of the rock. Yeah, so the scallops actually can move. Like they'll close their mouth and shoot across the tank. Like it's amazing how much they can actually move around and kind of find a spot where they're happy. So that is true. I had one, same thing. I had one in the back, and it was a bit of a pain. I had to like put a little rock there for him to attach to, and him to be happy, so he wouldn't keep moving around all over the place. So where I asked earlier, just for some people about what's kind of their favorite nano fish, to see if there's any popular ones that we missed, or our captive bred. Yeah, so Cataloni goby was a fairly popular one. Yellow clown goby, tons of those have the yellow and the green. 6-line wrasse. I don't know how small of a tank you keep that one in, to be honest. Favorite used to be gladiator clowns. What are these guys? Okay, those are just regular clownfish with funky patterns. Fairy wrasse. I think those guys might get a bit big. Circus goby. They're kind of another cool looking one. Daily Reefing. What's going on, Jeff? Welcome. Did you get your nano going yet? So Circus goby is another kind of funky little guy. They got some really cool patterns on them. So once a week, about 15, he picks them off. Had my frogfish for 4 years. Ah, very cool. Okay, so he's smaller. He gets a large ghost shrimp every other day. Okay, that's not bad then. They can go more than a month without food. Oh, wow. That's crazy. I thought you had to feed way more than that. Yeah, guppies breed like crazy. That's another one I've heard of people using to feed frogfish. Am I partners with coral dudes? No, I don't think I know who coral dudes is, to be honest. For smaller inverts, harlequin shrimps are another really cool one. But they need to... are a little tricky. I've done a video on them a while ago. I have one, and I use them to clean all my astrian stars out of my tank. But he did a really good job after a couple months, and I was getting very low, so I lent him to someone else to go devour all theirs. So I don't know if I'd have the heart to cut up starfish and feed them to him, so they're definitely acquired taste of a pet, but you can see they'll take down a giant starfish and eat them. But they're beautiful shrimp, like they're very cool. Oh, a nano human on the way. Congratulations! A little reefer in the making. Congrats, buddy. That's awesome. Woo! Just got a baby. Congrats, buddy. That's wicked. So no nano tank. You get a little nano tank for the nano human. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, so harlequin shrimp 100% only eat starfish, which makes them a tricky one. So either some people will buy chocolate chipped starfish and kind of sacrifice a leg once in a while. I kind of feel bad doing that, but I know lots of people that do it. So it is something that can be done for sure. But they're definitely beautiful, beautiful shrimp. It's wild just to see like the blue and white on them. So the other one, we did mention this one earlier, but it may or may not have been when the audio was a bit funky. So ruby red dragonettes, these guys are really cool. They're super tiny, notorious jumpers, but they are very cool little guys. Mainly, they'll be more the pod eaters. Lots aren't too hard to turn onto frozen. Shrimp called zebra shrimp that do the job, but they will eat regular food like brine shrimp. Let's take these guys out. Different types of harlequin shrimp called zebra. Huh. So apparently, George was just saying zebra shrimp will also eat starfish, but they'll also eat regular food. Huh, very cool. I'm not sure if it's the ones that look like harlequins. A lot coming up that are, those guys look like freshwater shrimp, but could be either way. Good to know. Yeah, tons of pods. Pods are definitely key to any of the small little gobies like the scooter bunnies. Ruby red, yes. Yeah, ruby red's on there. And ruby reds, or I see them called scooter bunnies a lot. But definitely very cool. DC, did you buy this guy in the background? You did, didn't you? The flaming prawn goby. I've been trying to find one, but so far they're pretty hard to find. So Mr. DC Reefer, what else you got on the nano list, buddy? Now, one kind of note with these guys, if you are a lot of those guys, it never hurts to add a ton of pods to your tank to start out. So it's a baby yellow tang the size of a quarter, my 15-gallon. He's awesome. It's about 3 to 6 months. I'll get rid of him. I work at a local fish store, so big fish can be great for nanos if you're willing to trade them. Yeah, that's fair too, right? I mean, you can get literally, I mean, you could put whatever you want in the tank as long as you have a upgrade path or a bigger home to rehome them with eventually. Snow is coming. I've heard of rumors of frogfish on frozen, but I've sat with mice on a string waving around for hours, no luck. Yeah, it probably really depends on the fish. Some of them might do it and some don't. I mean, I've heard the same thing with madras too, right? Like, some will eat frozen, some won't. Mine, you know, he'll eat madra. I'll take my little Julien's thing and squirt it, and he'll munch it right up. But he'll only do it if it's literally right in front of his face. He won't go hunt for it. So, it's kind of one of those things. It really depends on the fish. On that note, too, with frozen, you're generally better off finding ones that are captive bred because they're likely already brought up on prepared foods versus ones that are wild caught because then they're usually much picky eaters. What's going on, OG's Fish Room? Stevie? Mr. Joseph, what's going on, guys? Send that to me. ReefDudes, please, that's an amazing looking goby. That is called a flaming prawn goby. I actually have the technical name in my email because I emailed the store to see if they had any. But I will send you the technical name once I grab it later. But yeah, they're super cool. They're not cheap, but they're literally like 1 to 2 inches, like super tiny, but they're amazing looking. It's something I've wanted, but I know it would disappear in my big tank. So if I can find one, I might jump on it. But we'll see what's out there. What's going on, Death Mage? So hopefully that's kind of a good idea of all the different kind of nano stuff. What's going on, Charles? If you guys have any other great ideas for nanos, let me know. clear pipe to feed live food is a great way to trick them into eating frozen. Yeah, the one I found is actually Julian's thing. It's basically like a little plunger syringe with like a giant tube on it. And I've always used that to spot feed and it's worked pretty well. But yeah, they're pretty cool ones. ReefDudes, what about an orange spotted blenny? Let's take a look at those guys. Those guys look pretty cool. So that's an orange spotted blenny. As long as it doesn't grow too big, he looks like he'd be a pretty cool looking one. Love the colors of them. Those polka dots look wicked. Love the idea of dropping tons of these in my Nano. Huh, that's very cool looking. Red spot, orange spot blennies. I'm gonna look these up and see what they say for size-wise. Max size 5-inch. Yeah, you probably have to rehome that guy. He's probably going to be pushing it eventually. But yeah, very cool looking fish. How's the weather up there? Well, it was snowing earlier today, so it's definitely winter. I only hear ReefDude. Yeah, it's only me on the chat right now. Well, we tried hangouts earlier, but something was buggy with the audio. It was kind of garbly for the hangout, so they dropped off, and it's just me at the moment. So hopefully get it figured out for live stream number 2. But yeah, it's a little chilly here right now. It's about -5 or 20 F for you guys outside, so it's winter all right. Frogfish associates nets with food, but I'm telling you, frozen food comes out of the net. Yeah, so a lot of them are saying to get the picky eaters to associate the pipe or your feeder's food, not necessarily the food that's coming out of it. So when they see that, they'll get more of the feeding response. So it's one of those things where you can train the fish to eat frozen. But for me, mysis I've found has been the kind of the one thing that works most, or cannalus for the smaller fish, but it seems to be the one thing that works on almost everything. Yes, I'll try Discord for next time. That'll be the backup plan. I honestly think it might be something to do with the mixer board. I took was helping someone else set up theirs, so I was playing with a bunch of the settings. I think I buggered it up. But no, we'll give Discord a whirl. We'll see. Might be better. Hangouts has kind of been a little flaky with the links and stuff lately, so could be a good option. Well, sounds good, buddy. Appreciate it. Starfish, definitely you can get smaller ones, but you want to wait until your tank's a little more mature, because same thing, they eat all the microfauna and stuff around the tank. Cardinalfish, if you have a bigger nano. Pajama cardinals are a fairly common one. Same with the Bangai cardinals. And cardinalfish generally are fairly docile. They don't need a ton of space, which is kind of nice. Pipefish are cool too. Yeah, no, I'm actually thinking might do a dragon face pipefish. I've never owned one of those, and they're kind of cool looking guys. I've had the banded one before. Yellow banded is kind of cool looking. These guys, same thing. They like lots of pods, so you want to make sure you're either buying them or breeding them in your tank to re-supplement every once in a while. We'll keep them happy. What's got for cool ones on here? Definitely no groupers, no eels. Dwarf angelfish, yeah, they're just pushing it for a small tank. Yeah, I'd probably say you need upwards of like a 30 gallon or more for dwarf angelfish. Now there is other gobies. Black clown goby. I've never actually seen those guys before. Must be out of stock. They're missing some stuff that's normally on the page. Alright guys, I am going to shut her down pretty quick. I got a lot of running around to do, but I still want to do a quick stream. If you guys got any other good ideas for some kind of cool nanofish, throw it in the comments, or other kind of cool things that you would do or thinking of trying, just to kind of give other people some cool ideas. Otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of a quick stream. Sorry the audio was a little bit buggery at first, but still made it work out. Mantis shrimp would be kind of cool. One of my buddies had one living in a sump for a long time, and the peacock mantis, they can be nasty to a lot of stuff. Like they'll literally take a snail or hermit and break his shell and eat it out. But the peacock mantis, that's one specific that was beautiful. They can get pretty big over time though. Your clownfish is hosting your blastos. Nice. Yeah, as long as they don't damage the coral. Mine are currently hosting a leather Kenya tree, I think, one of the corals. There's a couple of enemies in the tank, and nope, they like their leather. So, never know. I'll see them post like frog spawn and different stuff. So, clownfish, any softie, pretty much, they'll seem to find one, pick it, and host it. So yeah, clownfish is a classic one. I'm still on the fence, so I'm going to do clowns or not. But everyone loves clownfish. Alright, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I do have a lot to do tonight, so I gotta call her quits. But yeah, any questions, let me know in the comments below. Or if you guys got any really cool fish that we didn't touch, let everyone know in the comments. Alright guys, have an excellent evening.